in the process of the restructuring of it in the same 10 to 12 years, has been realigned again profoundly without, again, any debate, I think. And again, in the interest of disclosure, my wife is now working with Bart. All right, this is not a subject that does not get discussed every night. But here's the roles of public education, right? Social justice, equity, making the road equitable, especially for those. This is the way, out, up, so forth. This is at the birth of this thing, all right? There's something about the citizen in a democracy. I'm not sure we haven't walked away from that dream, but at least a little name. Right? Because the whole thing was founded on this. Right? Whether we ever talk about it anymore, I think we still, some folks believe in it. We ought to be discussing what the value of walking away from it is at this point. There is the whole issue of growth and development. You know, for you, it's the language of emotional and social development. It's the development of the child, the growth and development of the child. That is what we're doing at various levels, our fourth grader and junior. And then there's this thing, this wonderful thing called academic achievement, skills. All right, skills content-wise, but mostly process-wise. All right? And what's happened here, all right, and we are all, in some senses, struggling with it, right, is that this thing, in some senses, all right, this thing spent, look at, in our lifetime, actually more than my lifetime, right? But this thing really was, this public education, when I first came into it, all I did was expert witnesses in Rockford, Illinois, around the social justice issue. All the play, if you will, was it doing this or not? What were the results, and so forth and so on. It was kind of narrow-based here. This thing has gone here. And it went there in a blink of an eye. In the sense of enormous, we took almost all content areas and have narrowed it to 2, for the most part. Right? These have dropped off, for the most part. And the definition of, or the measurement of, right, how children are doing is extremely narrowly measured and defined. And in the process, I would argue that the rest of the circle is mute. Like there's almost silence. And I want to go further and say even harder stuff. In many ways, all right, we believe deeply as an organization, by we, I'm saying organized labor here, believe deeply, all right, in these pieces, but we really believed in this. But I also think we hid them. And when you get this data, you can't hide here anymore. Hide there. Because you get data like 20, 30, 40% in Connecticut between white and black children. You can't exactly say, I'm going to keep doing the same thing because I believe in social justice. I'm saying this with a bit of an edge, but listen. So here it is. All I'm arguing is the structure has just changed in 8 to 10 years quite profoundly, and it isn't over. And I think it's going here, here, right, against almost all bets. This is in some senses just inevitable. The speed of this thing is crazy for everyone, in every industry. And this is a political thing that I think is just unbelievable. Right? And this has gone the same way with enormous torque, because mostly of policy, but also because of market, if you will, imposed, manipulated something. Right? So this thing is real narrow. Right? And this is my transition now. In the process of doing this and the restructuring piece, what gets defined as the major tool to move the profession and to move, if you will, the whole thing, it's called, and the phrase is fascinating, it somehow gets named. And I believe that Gates broke first. I don't think conspiracy theories at all. I just think they had enormous influence.